Hi guys, it's Taylor and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my July TBR. I haven't done a TBR in a long time. I technically filmed one for June, but I never edited it. So it's a little too late to bring it up now. So we are just going with July. So I'm going to be participating in 3 read-alongs, readathons, 4 technically. So I'm going to be taking part in the Book Junkie trials. I'm Team Magi, yay. I'm going to be taking part in the D&D readathon, which I'm so excited for because if you don't know, I love Dungeons & Dragons. And I am also going to be taking part in the Reading Rush. And of course, ongoing, as always, we've got the Artemis Fowl read-along, so we'll be reading book 7 and discussing that. So, yeah, let's not waste any time and let's get started. So we are going to start with my read-along for the Book Junkie trials. And of course, I don't have like the actual written challenges out, so I will leave a link down in the description box below, but I've got the name of the challenge, so we'll just go off of that. So the first one is Orc Grove, and so for that challenge, I'm going to pick Nevernight by J. Kristoff. I am also going to be doing the Book Junkie Book Club reread along of the Nevernight Chronicle. I'm actually going to be one of the people on the live show for God's Grave, so I'm really excited for that. If you don't know what this book is about, it's about a young girl named Mia Covere whose father was executed and her mother and brother were sent to prison when she was a little girl because the father tried to start a rebellion. And so now she is on a mission to kill the people who orchestrated her father's execution. And to do that, she goes to a school for assassins, and it's really good. It's really dark. There's a little bit of smut there, so it's definitely an adult series, and I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite books of all time. The next book we've got is for the challenge Old Pirate Cove, and I guess it's, from what I remember, it's like choosing a book that has to do with the ocean and the sea, I'm guessing. And for that, I'm going with the 5th Percy Jackson book, and that is Battle of the Labyrinth. If you don't know, Percy Jackson is like the son of Poseidon, so that's where the sea comes in. I read these books like once a year, so I'm slowly making my way through the series, but they're really cute, very middle grade, but if you like Greek mythology, these are your books. Next up, we've got Glimmer, which I believe is the challenge to read a colorful or pretty book. So for that, I've got With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I don't know much about this book, but I love how she looks. I believe she is Afro-Latina, and so of course, naturally, I'm very excited to get to this book. The next challenge for the Book Junkie trials is Draconic Isle, which is to read a book with dragons or wyverns in it. So for that, I'm going with Empire Storms by Sarah J. Maas, because these books have wyverns, and the wyverns are adorable, and I love them, and I just want to ride on them, but also not because they might eat me. But yes, Empire Storms. Yeah. And the final book challenge of the Book Junkie trials is the Bookie Grail, which is to read the group book, and that is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I don't know much about this book, but it's pretty short, and I've never read a Neil Gaiman book. I started the Sandman comics, but I wasn't really getting into them, but I'm excited to dive into one of his novels because everyone and their mothers and their moms' love Neil Gaiman, and I'm excited to hop on that train because if you know me, I love trends. Now my challenges for the D&D readathon. And the character, so with this one, you're supposed to be picking like a sort of species that you would play, and so in D&D they have a certain amount of species, and I have chosen the half-orc because I love half-orcs. And so the first challenge is to read a book that isn't in pristine condition. So this is a toughie, but I'm going with a reread, and that is The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. I have already read this book, and I really like it. If you don't know what it's about a group of con artists called the Gentlemen Bastards, and they are specifically trained from young to be like proper gentlemen so that they can sort of mix in with the upper echelons of society and steal from them. It's like Robin Hood, except they don't give to the poor, they give to themselves. And basically it's about this guy Loch Lamora, who is a really great con artist, and how he has to face his greatest enemy yet. And that's really all I can say without giving too much away, but it's really good. I really liked it, and I really want to reread it. The next challenge is to read a book with a morally gray protagonist. So this is going to cross over into the Book Junkie trials, but for that we're doing Nevernight by J. Kristoff. So yeah, 2 for 1. And the next one is read a book over 500 pages. And that is going to be Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. I believe this book is well over 500 pages. It's like 689 pages. So it's long. She thick. So yeah, that's going to be the book for that challenge. And that's it for the D&D Readathon challenges. Since I don't know the specific challenges for the Reading Rush, I can't really make any decisions, but I'm hoping to sort of combine them with the books I've already chosen. However, there are 3 other books that I would like to add to this, 4 other books that I would like to add to this list. So this TBR is getting very ambitious. So of course, I would like to read Saga Volume 3 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is a sort of Romeo and Juliet retelling in space, where our stand-in Romeo and Juliet are from opposite sides of an intergalactic war that's been spanning many, many years. And they fall in love and they have a baby. And now both sides want to kill them and this baby because of what they represent. And these books are so good. They are so cute. The artwork in it, let me make sure I don't open up on anything dirty, is like stunning. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited to get to it. Next up, we've got the 5th book in the Dresden Files series, Death Masks. If you don't know what these books are about, by Jim Butcher. If you don't know what these books are about, it's kind of like a Monster of the Week sort of deal. So you follow Chicago's only wizard, Harry Dresden, as he sort of battles with the supernatural that come into Chicago, and he's solving murder mysteries and so on. These books are very sexist, kind of racist, haven't yet ventured into homophobic, but I don't know. But it's very early 2000s, and none of that, of course, is okay, but these books are so enjoyable anyway. Like, they're fun, they're funny. Jim Butcher writes Harry Dresden with this sense of humor that, like, I rarely laugh out loud with books. I always laugh out loud with these books. So I'm excited to get to them. Next up, we've got Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. So this book, I'm really excited for. So my friend's friend, or friend's former coworker, described it as if your D&D characters were old and retired. And I'm so excited. So what this book is about a former band of mercenaries and adventurers who went out, they made a name for themselves, they were adventurers, they saved the day, so on and so forth, kind of like D&D. And they've retired. So now they're old, out of shape, alcoholics, and they're called back into action. So it kind of follows their adventures post-retirement, I guess, or post-retirement and then coming out of retirement, something like that. I'm really excited to get to this. It looks really funny, but she is thick. And finally, I don't have it with me here, but hopefully I'll get it up here. But it would be Artemis Fowl Book 7. And of course I did forget the 7th book, but it has a title and you will see it up here. I'm really excited to read this book. We are doing the Artemis Fowl read-along. If you don't know, I'm one of the co-hosts. So is Cara from the Wild Book Garden and Giselle from Giselle Bradley. I highly recommend you check out their channels, which I will link down below. And yeah, so this will be the 7th book, and that particular challenge will be hosted over on, I believe, Cara's channel. So go check out our read-alongs. Hey guys, it's me again. Sorry, I totally, absolutely forgot to add one video or one book to my TBR, and by the time I remembered, I had taken down my whole tripod setup. So let me just tell you that the final book that I really want to read is the Adventure Zone Volume 2, Murder on the Rockport Limited. If you haven't heard me raving about these books before, it's basically the sort of graphic novelization of this podcast that I really enjoy called The Adventure Zone, that features 3 brothers, the McElroy brothers, and their dad playing D&D together. And it kind of covers their hijinks and adventures, and it's so funny and so heartfelt and so beautiful. I am so excited to dive into that book. So yeah, that adds 11 books to my TBR. So wish me luck, guys. If we're being honest, I don't think that I am going to get to all of them, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best. So what books are you guys reading in the month of July? Or have you read any of these books? Please let me know in the comments down below. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.